Hey there folks, and welcome to my Let's Play from the Mega Man Legacy Collection of Mega Man 3. Mega Man 3 is the second of two Mega Man games I actually owned as a kid. As I played through Mega Man 2 a million times, not that you could tell from my performance in my Let's Play of Mega Man 2. Mega Man, we rented, me and Nabobo, the B to the D as kids, and we enjoyed it. And then we owned Mega Man 3, which, Bobo has expressed, I don't know if it was surprise or what, but he was kind of like not understanding why I had so much more fond memories of Mega Man 2 than Mega Man 3. I remember being slightly disappointed by Mega Man 3, but I think it was because I had a really high expectations based on having loved Mega Man 2 so much. Mega Man 4 I remember renting and enjoying, but not really seeing the need to buy it. And then Mega Man 5 I remember renting and just being like, yeah, Mega Man might have run its course. And I'm pretty sure we rented Mega Man 6 at some point. But Mega Man 3 is the last one I owned. I do not remember it as far as like stage layouts and boss strengths and weaknesses as well as I remember Mega Man 2. But it's the last one where I have any hope of figuring out which bosses are weak against what and what order to play in without either consulting a FAQ or just exposing you guys to lots of me fucking around going to the wrong stages first. So if you are following the Mega Man series of Let's Plays I'm doing, you might want to chime in now and let me know, hey, for Mega Man 4, 5, and 6, I'm not going to sit here and watch walkthrough videos before I record myself playing, but you might want to throw in with whether or not you want to see me stumble on my way through, or if I should actually check facts and figure out what sequence you're supposed to beat these stages in, and who's weak against what. Without further ado, let's jump into Mega Man 3. Although our story so far, briefly, in Mega Man, robots built by the kindly Dr. Light have been reprogrammed and repurposed for evil by Dr. Wily. So the only one that Dr. Wily didn't reprogram for whatever reason, Mega Man, fights them, gets their powers, defeats them, and defeats Dr. Wily to restore peace. And the Mega Man 1 bosses, despite the games Bobo and I played as kids, and despite the Mega Man cartoon series where robot masters from all the games are wandering around, these robots are never heard from again, so I assume that when Mega Man defeats them in the boss match stage, they die. Mega Man 2, Dr. Wily has now built his own robots. He's no longer repurposing Dr. Light's robots, so these robots were born evil. Mega Man destroys them all, gains their powers, but forgets how to use their powers in time for Mega Man 3. But what's the plot of Mega Man 3 going to be? At the end of Mega Man 2, Dr. Wily was thrown in prison. So these new foes must be coming from somewhere. Let's find out together. We will look at the database in the museum later, but for now, let's play. Oh, and I did not mean to... No! Hold on, I didn't... We are going to go to full screen, because that's what Bobo requested, and he's the only one who actually had an opinion on this. But you did get to see what the screen looked like. We also have a little glitching down there, which is recapturing the NES properly. But let's see what the actual story is, because I accidentally skipped past it while trying to change the screen. Yeah. So we have Mega Man 3 logo. No cool intro. I think that was like my first sign that I wasn't that thrilled with this game. It didn't have the cool, like, sweeping up a tower majestic intro. But there will be an intro if we wait. Something has to explain the plot, right? I think so, anyway. Alright, plot. Explain yourself. There was a plot to this game. I remember there was. Certainly there wasn't a manual. After we defeat the robot masters, a story scene will kick in that acts as though we knew the plot all along. Alright, if the music cycles through one more time, I guess we're backing out to the menu to see. Okay, there's no intro. And even though it's the Legacy Collection and there's a lot of like neat concept art and shit included, there's no scans of the manual or anything like that. Let's quit. go to database, you can read about these characters. It's a mysterious robot. Dodge all its attacks by jumping. Bullshit. I remember you have to slide sometimes against Shadow Man. Options and controls. No, we do not get to... We got concept art. We've got... Wow, look at that stuff scroll. Unused art of what looks kind of like the Elect Beam. Got this cute promotional image of all these different characters, including Roll, who's kind of bashing Airman on the head and sitting on Gutsman's shoulders, and she's got Gemini Man looking to cop a feel there. And yeah, these are robots from all three of the games, so that's nice. But there's art from the manual with... There's some neat unused sketches, but no, it looks like we do not get the manual. So, alright, my recall was that the story was Dr. Wily has turned over a new leaf and is now working together with Dr. Light. And they've built this giant robot that is meant to be used to maintain peace. And, but to activate it, they need to get 8 power crystals. And the 8 power crystals are... Like, Dr. Wily knows where the 8 power crystals are, but there are robot masters at these locations that have decided to rebel, and Mega Man has to defeat them to get the power crystals. So, innovations of this game. Mega Man's eyes now move around as he scopes out the different robot masters. And also, you have Mega Man in the center instead of like a blank space or something. I guess Mega Man was in the center of the last game too, but his eyes didn't move. And I will admit, as a kid, I thought this was a really cool touch. But, yeah, storyline-wise, that's it. It's like we have to defeat these robot masters, and when we do, we'll be able to power up this giant robot, this incredibly powerful robot that was built for peaceful purposes, that Dr. Wily and Dr. Light are working on together, because they're friends now. That's the plot. Let's get this giant destructive robot of world peace operational as soon as possible, folks. And I vaguely recall Hardman, he's beatable without using the P-Buster, but I don't trust myself to do anything the hard way in this game because I don't remember it that well. But he's the one whose weapon can destroy barriers and obstructions, but I don't think we really start seeing any of those until we get to the Dr. Wily stages. Sparkman I remember as being somebody that it's viable to beat first. And his weapon is good against Needleman. Needleman's weapon is good against Snake Man. Snake Man's weapon, I think, beats Gemini Man. Gemini Man's weapon... No, wait. Sparkman doesn't beat Needleman. Sparkman beats Magnet Man. Gemini Man's weak against Snake Man. Snake Man, I think, is weak against Needleman. Needleman, I think, is weak against Gemini Man. I don't remember now. This doesn't make sense. I've got this... Who are you supposed to defeat first? I know that Top Man beats Shadow Man. I know Shadow Man... Maybe Shadow Man beats Sparkman or Needleman or something. Needleman I remember being a pain in the ass to defeat. Magnet Man I think is weak against Sparkman, but I don't think you need Sparkman to beat him. Gemini Man and Needleman I remember as being particularly big pains in the ass to defeat without their weaknesses. Shadow Man to an extent. I remember doing surprisingly well against Shadow Man with P-Buster, but it was like my 5th playthrough of the game when I was like, hey, you can actually beat Shadow Man without his weakness if you like slide at the right times and dodges and jumps. But the one I remember being really easy to defeat without any help or Magnet Man, or without anything but P-Buster, are Magnet Man and Top Man. And Magnet Man will give us Hard Man, which will give us Top Man. So I think we'll start with Magnet Man. And watch me just blow this completely. I remember very little about the stage layout, so don't be expecting perfection there. But anyway, I was talking about his eyeballs moving back and forth on like a ventriloquist dummy or something on the stage select screen, but this is actually the true huge innovation of this game. Mega Man 4, I think, is the first one to give us a charged up P-Buster. So Mega Man 2 gives us a password system. Mega Man 3 gives us sliding. I quite frankly, I don't even know if I like this innovation, because as the Mega Man series advances and they give you more and more things Mega Man can do, there's more and more things you're expected to be good at before you can play the game. So by the time you get to Mega Man X, you have bosses where there's no way to avoid taking shit tons of damage if you aren't wall hopping and then sliding and then midair dashing, and after a while I'm like, shit, give me back Mega Man 2. Ooh. See, these guys will suck you up with magnet power, and then you'll take damage from hitting them. Or you can shoot them, but you may get yourself in a situation where you can't advance. Okay, that was smart, JG. So it's like you have to use the enemies to your advantage, which is a Mega Man tradition, going back to Iceman stage of Mega Man 1. What the hell's going on? Who are you? Hey! What? This is shocking. This guy's just attacking me for no reason. And again, I'm not good at sliding mechanics. For example, sliding in the wrong direction. So, that was weird. I don't know who that guy is, but he kind of looks like the guy off to the right of the picture there. Interesting. Oh, this thing's gonna shoot missiles at us. That's nice. It's a giant missile shooting version of the annoying enemies from Mega Man 1 and 2. Okay, just advance, JG. On the off chance they drop health power-ups and I can get back to up to them in time. Alright, hopefully this is a continuation point, because I'm clearly about to die. And as you get close enough to be affected by this thing, they suck you in. But if you stay just far away enough, they don't touch you. Oh, and you see it says Dr. RW, which I think stands for Right Wily, because he's supposed to be Dr. Light, but I guess they got confused for the Japanese version. They made him Dr. Right. Oh, yeah, I suppose I had to know that these were coming. Okay, I got it. There's always at least one where you have to wait till the one is disappearing underneath you before you jump. There we go. Oh, that's a little obnoxious. Putting that magnet right there makes it a little bit harder. If I'm not mistaken, there's more than one way to do this. Oh, and now they make it so you die if you fail. It is the simplest pattern now. Now they make it so you die if you fail again. Okay. I'd forgotten that the stage even had that. Oh, by the way, in this game you start out with Rush Coil, which is your most basic mobility weapon. Oh, fudge. So I assume that enemy will respawn, and that's why you don't want to do this unless you really need the health. And those are obviously death spikes. Okay, well, that wasn't too bad of a stage. So I got two lives, no E-tanks. Now this is an interesting thing. I know I was dicking around the other night on Hardman stage, which sounds really foul now that I said it. In this game, if you get an E-tank and die and then continue, you start with full lives and the E-tanks. Which means, in theory, you can keep going to a stage, and the E-tanks, like if you play through Hardman stage, get the E-tank that's in that stage, and die, and then go back to where the E-tank is on that same continue, there won't be another E-tank. But if you get it, die, and continue, without using the E-tank, you'll have an E-tank in reserve, and when you continue, there will be a new E-tank. So if you want to, you can keep intentionally failing at the stage and stockpile E-tanks, which I might just find a stage before we get to Wily and do that. Sounds dickish, but... Oh, and by the way, forget that I said before, I'll find a stage before we get to Wily. Forget I said that, because Dr. Wily is now working with Dr. Light, a.k.a. Dr. Wright, a.k.a. Dr. Keynes, and we're all on the same side. So he has a thing where he does a magnetic pull and tries to suck you in, and you have to run against it. Then he shoots these magnet shots. Oh, and he does them again. I thought he was going to suck us into this magnet pull. Fudge. Damn it. Should have just kept going to the left, dodge his attacks, and then slide left. I almost got him on the first try. There was like he was more than halfway defeated. So this thing, you just have to run away. But he never goes all the way to either side of the screen. Oh, fuck. Okay, you don't know how long he's going to do it for. So it's not really a good idea to try to let him pull you in and shoot him. But I am, in fact, going to defeat him. I, didn't do it on the first try, but I'm fine with that. I haven't played in a while. Maybe the plot will slowly reveal itself as we beat each robot master, since they didn't give us any introduction scene for this game. Imagine if you rented this game, you'd have no idea what you were supposed to be doing. Anyway. So we're going to go ahead and save our data here. And instead of using the password system. I know Hardman stage I could exploit for E-tanks, except this is not a game where you can go back to a stage that you already cleared, because in this game there's nothing to be obtained that way, other than E-tanks. There's no mobility weapons that you get by finding them within a stage, the way there was in Mega Man. As a matter of fact, if memory serves, you can't revisit stages in Mega Man 2 for that reason. Later games, you start being able to revisit stages because they'll put in things that... the first time you play through Top Man stage, you don't have the Hard Man weapon, and you knock down a wall on Top Man stage, and you get, you increase your maximum hit points, or you unlock one of the letters in Mega Man 5, and getting all of the letters in Mega Man V will give you the beat weapon. I'm not kidding. But I know this game doesn't feature that, so if I really want to, exploit getting E-tanks by cheese methods... I'll need to figure out a stage where we can actually get an E-tank, because Magnet Man stage would not have been such a stage. I know you can in Gemini Man stage, so maybe we'll do that one last, but I don't know. We'll see. But my plan is to do Hard Man stage next. It'll be a hard one. That's what she said. I'm the Mysterious JG. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll join me next time as the PS4 faithfully recreates the glitch above Shadow Man's portrait in Mega Man 3.